For this video, I spent hours analyzing my students' gameplay to determine what the most common mistakes are in all ranks. This list took me a while to compile, so I hope this video can prevent you from making the same mistakes. Before I get into it, we have to talk about self-awareness. Your level of self-awareness is in direct proportion to your rank and ability to grow as a player. I can show you all the mistakes in the world, but if players think they are perfect to begin with, all of my efforts will be for nothing. Please keep an open mind and understand that we all make a lot of mistakes, and the first step to fixing them is realizing we make them. To start things off, at the bottom of the list is warming up. I've been told too many times, oh, I don't do warm-ups, the range is boring and aim labs is a scam. No, please stop. Warming up is essential if you want to play at your peak performance. If you won't believe the hundreds of studies done about warm-ups for pro athletes, at least consider this. Warming up is also practice. An effective warm-up routine incorporates mechanics that you are not comfortable enough with to use in your competitive games. The range is a very effective way to achieve this. If you're one of those people who struggle consistently warming up before sessions, whether it's because of time or just desire, try starting off with quick warm-ups. As you become more used to the idea, you can start to increase the amount of time you warm up. If you want to learn more, check out my video on warming up, link in the description. The next and most frustrating mistake is not utilizing deathmatch properly. Despite what some people say, deathmatch is a fantastic tool for improving in Valorant. However, it's only effective if you know how to play it correctly. Stop trying to win. Last time I checked, winning a deathmatch does not give you RR. And if it did, my brother might finally get out of gold. Oh, you're so bad, Nick. You're so bad. Nick's so bad.
I'm done playing this game!
In order to make the most out of deathmatch, you need to work on various aspects of your gameplay that you lack in your daily performance. Crosshair placement, movement, peeking, and recoil control are all great examples of these things that can be improved through deathmatches. If you want to become extra disciplined, you can turn off sound or play music in the background. Without sound, you have to check every angle and corner without info about the enemy's location, just like in a real game. With this being said, good aim can only take you so far, which leads me to my next tip: narrow down your agent pool. Almost every student I've coached under Diamond has answered the same thing when I ask what role they play. Oh, I just fill, or oh, I can play all the roles. I hate to be the one to break it to you, but you can't effectively play all the roles. The best people in the world strive at one thing, which is what makes them good. Do you remember when Phoenix was never played just a few months ago? Do you remember why nobody played him? It wasn't because his flashes were bad, or he couldn't take away enemies' line of sight with his wall, or even stall a defuse with his molly. He was never played because he was the jack of all trades. Decent at everything, but a master in nothing. Don't be Phoenix. Find a role that fits your playstyle, and master a couple of agents that play that role. Don't fill an agent you aren't trying to master. You'll become a better player in the long run, I promise. The next problem I see from everyone, including myself, is communicating effectively. If you're watching this video, I fully expect that you're comfortable with calling out footsteps and telling your team info right when you die, but these are not the things I'm talking about. Ranking up is becoming harder than ever as the player base grows. Strategy and play calling is an integral part of gameplay as you move up to these higher ranks. Unfortunately, most of the time, it'll be up to you to become the endgame leader. Calling a simple rotate works wonders in these ranks because enemies over-rotate all the time. Whenever you see 3 people on a site and you've shown presence, try rotating, especially if your team already has map control in other areas. Chances are at least one of the players is rotating from the other site. In addition, calling for utility combos, defaults, pinches, and fakes are great ways to give your team the edge. If nobody seems to have a mic, just keep in mind that the more you talk, the more likely they will. Whatever you do, please do not be toxic or try to micromanage your team. That never ends well for anyone. The next mistake I found is directed towards lower ranks. Not understanding how the credit and ultimate economy impacts the game. Every time before the round starts, you need to take note of your team's credit, the enemy's team's credit, and ultimates available for both teams. This information dictates how you should play out each round. There are general rules of thumbs you should follow. If your team can full buy, but the enemy team has to save, you should play more passively. The way teams win thrifty rounds is by securing a rifle early on. In order to counter this, you should stick with your team. That way, if someone on your team dies with a rifle, you'll be there to contest the map control, preventing the enemies from grabbing the rifle. Players should also make sure they are buying with the team. You can't win every round. Sometimes you just have to save and set yourselves up for better odds next round. When it comes to ultimates, pay attention to when the enemy's ultimates are ready. Let's say you're playing Bind and the enemy Brimstone has his ultimate. There's a high probability he will ult U-Haul, so don't play there. If an economy ultimate such as Jet Knives or Chamber Op is only one orb away from obtaining and the enemies are poor, keep in mind that they'll try to get the orb for the Chamber or Jet. Let your team know and play aggressive at the orbs to prevent them from getting it. This can win you rounds. The last and most important mistake I find in my students is not actively trying to improve. You can't just play Valorant all day and expect to rank up. I know plenty of bronzes who have hundreds of hours in the game. If you really want to get better, you have to actively try to get better every round of every game. This means when you die, ask yourself why you died and how you can fix it. Before you queue, try to think of one thing you want to focus on improving that game. Without focusing your efforts, you will overwhelm yourself with trying to improve too many things at once. You can discover what parts of your game needs improvement by VOD reviewing. I know it can be boring, but if you're serious about improving, it's a great way to start. In the future, I plan on showing you how to properly VOD review, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, check out my video on warm-ups, and if you want to keep up with the meta, check out the video that discusses the state of the game after patch 5.06. Peace.